Mr. Speaker, I yield 3 minutes to the gentleman from New York, Mr. Zeldin, a member of the Committee on Foreign Affairs.
Gentleman from New York is recognized 3 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and thank you to Chairman Royce for bringing this important legislation. The American public stands with you, Chairman, and there are multiple reasons why the American public will stand with all of this Congress that will vote for this bill. For one, the American public has an issue with financing Iranian terror through U.S. financial infrastructure. The American public has had an enormous issue with a lot of specifics related to the Iran nuclear agreement. For one, it's not really much of an agreement. It is an unsigned political commitment. There are material differences with regards to the agreement. The U.S. says we're going to be able to access military sites. The Iranians said before, during, and after the negotiation, you'll never be able to access our military sites. We said sanctions relief will be phased in over the course of time based on compliance. The Iranians say no, sanctions relief will be immediate, no suspension. These are pretty important parts of the agreement. Well, let's talk about some other parts that weren't part of the agreement, they weren't able to agree to, so they put into a secretive deal between the Iranians and an entity that we have no ability to actually be on an inspections team because, as AP reports put out, the IAEA's agreement with the U.S., these so-called deals where the verification is outlined, the Iranians, in some cases, are inspecting their own nuclear sites. In other cases, they are responsible for collecting some of their own soil samples. That is why the American public stands with everyone who votes for this legislation, because of all the unilateral concessions that have been made since this agreement has been made. This isn't the only one buying heavy water for no reason. While this president is holding the heavy water of the Iranians, those who vote for this bill who have opposed the Iran nuclear agreement, they are holding the heavy water of American security. For the $1.7 billion payment that was made after this deal was reached, $400 million debt plus $1.3 billion of interest, or our detained soldiers who were embarrassed through photography and videography, and we're saying thank you for releasing our sailors. The American public was outraged using our sailors as propaganda to make yourself look strong and the rest of us look weak? Or maybe it's giving the Iranians access to U.S. financial institutions. We're being laughed at. And the Iranians will take to the street, they'll chant death to America. They will continue their illegal test firing of intercontinental ballistic missiles. They'll detain Americans unjustly. They know that we didn't even ask for a signature. Think about it. Of all the agreements we enter into a life, buying a car, buying a home, we couldn't even ask for a signature. The American public's upset, and that's why they stand with you, Chairman.